Yes.
Two questions.
Yes.
On sanctions and on possible new ambassador nomination to Ukraine, would you be able to confirm that Ambassador Bridget Breen is top choice for the nomination to be ambassador to Ukraine?
I am not in a position to confirm that. As you know, nominations emanate from the White House, but the Secretary was asked about this when he was in Kyiv the other day, and he did note that we expect a nomination to be forthcoming shortly.
Second, on sanctions. Last Friday, during the press conference, President Zelensky asked publicly why the U.S. and partners are talking about possible sanctions in case Russia invade. Why after? Why not now? He asked. Would you be able to elaborate on that?
Sure. So, and this gets to the point I was just making. Our overriding goal in all of this is to resolve this crisis that Moscow has precipitated through dialogue and diplomacy. Our goal is to see to it that we need not enact sanctions, because that means that the Russians won't have moved forward with aggression. Our goal here is deterrence. And a key point in all of this is that our sanctions, any sanctions package, would lose its deterrent effect if it were to be put in place in advance of an invasion, in advance of additional Russian aggression. That's one point. Number two, we've heard the question as to why we don't be more specific about the sanctions that we are preparing and have prepared with our allies and partners, and that is equally simple. It is not in our interest to telegraph our moves, to allow the Russian Federation to take steps that would mitigate the impact of these sanctions. Part of the deterrent effect of these sanctions is the fact that we've been very clear that these sanctions will be unprecedented in terms of their scope, in terms of their scale, what they are and can inflict on the Russian Federation, that they go after sectors that have strategic importance to the Russian Federation. And these are measures that were intentionally not pursued in 2014 because of their implications on the Russian Federation. So, of course, these are not elements and these are not tools that we take lightly, but this would not be anything, further Russian aggression would not be anything that we would seek to discount, that we would seek to minimize. And so that is why you have heard us speak to the strength of the sanctions that would befall in a manner that is swift, strong, and sudden. Third point, even as we put these measures in place, these measures that are designed to have a deterrent effect, we are moving forward across a range of actions in the vein of defense and deterrence. I've already spoken of the defensive security assistance that we are providing to Ukraine, the authorization for third countries to provide U.S. origin equipment to Ukraine. We've spoken of the economic assistance and support that we are looking with the support of Congress to provide Ukraine. We've spoken of what we are doing with NATO to reinforce and to reassure NATO's eastern flank. Those are just some of the areas in which, well in advance of any potential Russian aggression, be it an invasion or something else from Moscow's playbook, we are moving full speed ahead to make sure that even as we continue to prefer this course of diplomacy and dialogue, we are ready with a path of defense and deterrence if that's a path we have to go down.
One more question on sanctions. You mentioned Congress. There is an effort, bipartisan effort in Congress to pass a new Russian sanction bill. The only contestant issue seems like Nord Stream 2, sanctions on Nord Stream 2. Does administration support this effort for new sanctions bill, and do you have any new position on Nord Stream 2?
So I will defer to Congress as this specific legislation moves through the process. You heard from Toria Nuland yesterday that we've been in regular touch with the Hill on this legislation. We continue to be in close touch with them on everything pertaining to Russia and Ukraine. But as this legislation moves through the process, I will defer to our counterparts on the Hill. And beyond what we've said last week, that in the event of a Russian invasion, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward one way or another. That continues to be our position. That will be our position.